Morning, my loves. Morning to everyone. Alrighty, this video is long. This video is going to be long. Alright, if you don't have data, please skip this video. If you don't like long videos, please skip this video. And if you want videos of people who get to the point, please skip this video, because I don't know what the point is. I don't even know where we're going, but I know we're going somewhere. People who want to get to the point already knows this information. They know everything. So since you know everything, please skip the video. There are people who make short content who are very knowledgeable, right? So this is not for you, okay? And yeah, going to be a title. But follow at your own risk and don't come into the comments complaining. I already warned you from the beginning. And please don't think you're making me a favor by watching this video. No. I'm making anyone a favor by watching this video. I have to make this little intros to everyone else. I have to make this intros because I keep getting people who say a lot of things in the comment sections. Okay. Now, if you do decide to stay, let's be respectful, right? If you do comment and decide to comment, which you are also not forced to do, if you do decide to comment, please be clear in what you are commenting. You all are confusing me in the comment sections with how you are structuring your words. And then, if for those interested in a consultation, how do you book a consultation? You inbox me on TikTok, or you can send me an email, which the links are found on my bio, both on TikTok and YouTube. Or you can go to my website. The link is found on my bio on TikTok. That's it. When you get there, you'll get the same message that everyone gets. There's nothing special that you'll get. Get the same message that everyone gets, right? Also, to those of you who have accepted your request, your message request on TikTok, please don't take that as a way for you to just come in and asking me questions. I'm too busy. Just always get that into your mind. Before you inbox me, ask yourself, how busy am I for me to be answering things that you could already go and figure out in a video. Any topic I've not touched on, it's either coming or they will not talk on it. I don't make the decision as to what we teach. Fine. Now, let's get into it. This is going to be a long lesson. They made me write this lesson. Oh, they've been telling me about this lesson for a few days now. Write it. I was like, what am I going to say about it? And yesterday, they were like, you're not going to sleep. You need to write this lesson. I was like, okay, let me write it. So I'm going to read a bit. Okay, let's get into it. The Merkaba. Me and always pronouncing word wrong. Merkaba, the divine vehicle, right? That's what we're talking about today, the Merkaba. What is a Merkaba, right? The word Merkaba is derived from an ancient Egyptian word. And then they say M-E-R is light. K-A is spirit. Ba is body. So, the Merkaba. This is a vehicle of light. This is a vehicle of light and divine connection around your body. In Hebrew, they say Merkava, right? Meaning the chariot. It either means a chariot or the throne of God. That's what they're talking about. That's that vehicle that allowed Elijah to disappear in a chariot. That's the vehicle that allowed Moses to disappear. That's the vehicle that allowed Jesus to ascend. That's the Merkaba. And it is important to note that a god needs the Merkaba fully activated to ascend to godhood. Right. This is your individual vehicle of light, which you use to travel dimension. right? It also helps you to ascend into higher realms. It helps you to connect with higher consciousness, and aids, it assists in astral travel. Now, everyone on earth has this vehicle, but to many people, it's just like a car that's parked. A vehicle is a car. To some of you who are confused, someone will be confused. It's just like a car that's been parked and not been used. That's how, to many people, it's like. Now, those who have the gift of astral travel cannot activate their astral travel gift without first activating and balancing the Merkaba. Now, how do you balance or activate the Merkaba? You balance the energies. All right, I had to pause there because someone was making noise outside. Okay, how do you balance or activate this vehicle? You have to balance the energies in your body. That's number one. Number two, you have to find alignment. Number three, you connect with a higher vibration. You heal your energetic field. You strengthen your psychic gifts. Every single human has psychic gifts. You strengthen your psychic gifts. You connect deeply with your higher self. Right. Now, I'm not a car mechanic. I'm not a car person. Well, I love some cars here and there, but I can't say I'm knowledgeable too much about cars. But I'm going to explain it in layman's term because I needed to understand it in layman's term in order to be able to fully understand what I was dealing with. Right? So I'm going to explain it in a way that made sense to me. It might not be technically in alignment with the car parts that I'm going to explain, but that's how I understood it, right? It might help those who are trying to understand it. There are many people know a lot about the Merkaba that have taught so many things, the Merkaba that have taught so many things. So I'm not going to go down the line. Me, I'm going to always teach you things that I know, things that I have experienced, and things that made sense to me and how they made sense to me. Okay, so now, FYI, I'm putting it out there. The technicalities and the terms that I'm going into and the similarities might not align with an actual car. It's okay, but as long as you get the point. All right, so I said that how do you balance and activate the Merkaba? I said the first thing that you need to do is balance the energies in your body. Okay, but I want to start with the raising of connecting to a higher vibration, right? The raising of your vibration acts like a fuel, acts like the fuel for the Merkaba. It is the fuel that this vehicle needs to move. And if you're vibrating low, it is the same as not having fuel in a car. And you know that a car that does not have fuel cannot move. So this will be like the fuel, the oil, because maybe there's different vibrations, right? The balancing, and I said you need to balance, right? The balancing, that for me, I understood it as the bricks and the alignment, right? That's how I understood it, the bricks and the acceleration, right? And that when the brakes and the accelerators are working well, there will be a balance. And you'll be able to maneuver, stop, go of the car. Alignment. Every car needs an alignment to not tip, right? So this is what will make the car move in alignment, because you're moving in space. Now it won't move like this, right? It needs an alignment for it to be able to align properly. And then you won't crash in the universe. Energetic field is the engine that gets the car moving, right? So your energetic field is the engine that gets the car moving. Without the engine, no car goes nowhere. So without an energetic field that is strengthened, your Merkaba is not going. There will be no Merkaba. Psychic gifts. The psychic gifts for me, I found, are like the mirror. Because when you are in the astral, you need to see in the review. You need to see what's happening around you. Because astral travel is dangerous. And you can get hit by stuff. Or you can find yourself in an astral war. So to navigate properly the path that you are on, you need the mirrors and the what do they call, the windscreen, to be able to see where you're going, to see clearly. So your psychic gifts needs to be highly activated for you to be able to see where you are. And you can only see the astral with the clear psychic gift. Your higher self. Yeah, I think I said you need to connect deeply with your higher self. Your higher self, yes, is the driver. Your higher self is the driver that drives the car. The steering wheel, the one that helps you to stay. That's the higher self. Without the higher self who already knows the astral, there's no traveling to the astral. So that's how I understood it. I hope it will make sense to someone. Okay, so now what did we learn? We learned that it is the light body that transports the soul in the astral. It's the light body that transport the soul into the astral. Not only just transports the soul, but transports the physical body in certain instances into the astral. And it enables interdimensional travel that can lead you to other dimensions, and it also enables portal travel. Now, there are also important two terminologies or two things that we need to know about. The number one is your auric field, and the number two, your electromagnetic field. These are very important in understanding the Merkaba. Your auric field. What is an auric field? Your auric field, what is that? Right? It is the energy. It is your energetic body. I made a video, just forgot to write it here, about the different bodies. I don't really remember what the cover of that body is. But it was something about Lemuria. It was one of my Lemurian videos. For those who are new here, I made a video about the different bodies, and I talked about the 7 bodies, right? So one of the bodies is an energetic body. This is the body that surrounds your physical, your emotional, and your mental body. This is the body. This is the body's energy center. And it works with the 7 chakras. Right? The auric field works with the 7 chakras. Now, this is for those who read auras. Right? When we say a person's aura is beautiful, it is because of we saw their auric field. For persons who read auras and they are able to see the different lights around a person, they are seeing the auric body that connects with the 7 chakras, illuminating the different shades of a kaleidoscope light. And they are able to say that your body is beautiful. Right? So sometimes I see certain people, their aura is like diamond. Some people, their aura is gold. Some people have like a rainbow kaleidoscope aura. Some people have a red aura, which is very passionate, very angrily. They're very impatient and angry people. And also, when we do energy healing, we look into a person's aura to fully see what the root cause is, because you could say you have flu, but only to find that it's not flu. Right? So when we do energy healing, we need the aura. People who do energy healing, 2 people who actually do energy healing can see auras. Because then how do you heal the energy if you don't see an aura? If you can't see the different auras of the chakras, the different auras of the different bodies, how then are you going to get to the root cause? Right? In many of my all my consultation, I need a picture because I need to read a person's aura in order for me before I get into any form of a consultation. Right? So also in healing, we need to read the aura in order for us to fully understand what the issue is. Right? You protect and keep your aura healthy by loving yourself and by doing spiritual hygiene. That's how you keep your aura clean. Self-love creates a powerful shield around the aura. Electromagnetic field, this is your frequency, right? This is the magnetic fields that ground the body, that grounds the body to the earth, and also allows you to connect to the frequency of the sun, the moon, and the other planets. So it grounds your body to the earth through your feet, and then it connects you to the higher realms from the upper head. This is why many of you, through the electromagnetic field, this is why many of you can have bodily reaction when the moon is high, the moon is low, when planet so-and-so is moving and you feel, they call them ascension symptoms. Yeah. And that's how many of you get light codes access. So in simple term, your electromagnetic field, it is the south, and the north. It is the south and the north, that south and north pole of your body, and that connects to energy. And when they connect to an energy, the energy comes like a spiral in the body, but usually the energy goes upwards like this. That is where the term Kundalini comes from. I usually say Kundalini. Kundalini. Right? That's where they have the serpent energy. That's how they talk about the serpent energy and the Kundalini energy. Because when the north and the south pole are properly connected, the Kundalini rises. Right. Now comes in the Kundalini. Now comes in the Kundalini awakening. Right. After your Kundalini awakening, the energy will start to circulate. After your Kundalini awakening, energy will start to circulate around your body in a high frequency, because I've told you the Kundalini rises, and when it hits the top from the back, when it hits the top, it opens the golden egg. When it hits the crown chakra, it opens the golden egg on the crown chakra, and then the 6-petal lotus is open, and then with time you then open there. How many petal lotus is this one? The one that's above? There's different petal lotus, right? Then you start ascending, and that's how higher knowledge starts coming in. Now, when the Kundalini arises, it then creates, when it hits the golden egg and opens it up, it then creates a circulation of energy around your body. And then your body starts to vibrate at high frequency, right? And high velocity, which then means you can then now start the engine of your Merkaba, because there's high velocity and there's high frequency. Now it means that you are in a sports car. The Merkaba, before the Kundalini awakening, it is that car that doesn't have speed. It can only move from here to there. It can only do bits and bits of pieces here and there. But now, after the Kundalini awakening, it is now that you can now start it. You are on a sports car. That now you are on a spaceship kind of velocity. Remember what I said. The energy is the engine. The vibration is the fuel. The balance is the brakes and accelerations. The alignment is the balancing of the car. The psychic gifts are your mirrors and windscreen, and your higher self is the steering wheel that helps you to stay the driver. Now, the Kundalini awakening is the key. Every car needs a key to ignite the engine, right? Either way, either whether you are using those fancy car where you put the key in the car and then you can start it somewhere, but that start, where you press to start, that's the Kundalini awakening. It is what ignites, it's the key that ignites the engine and starts the car. This is what fully activates your Merkaba and helps you to access things outside of the matrix. Why is all this important? Why? Why is all this important? All right, I don't know why all this is important, all right? But I'm gonna tell you why it was important to me to activate my Merkaba, right? I don't know what other people use it for. So I can tell you things that are written on the internet. I don't do that. I don't even know that. When I come, yes, I do take some stuff on the internet and maybe to compile a lesson, but half of the time I need to teach you things that I know. So I'm going to tell you why I use and how I use the Merkaba and how it has assisted me in my spiritual work. Now, all my spiritual work is done online or at a distance. I do not do face-to-face. I don't do like where we sit together in one place to do a consultation. I don't do that. All my consultations are done online. Even when we do a call, I don't do video calls. It's never a video call, right? I don't need to see you. But the reason why I do that, it is because how you look, the filters you put on yourself, the makeup, the way you always try to make yourself look a particular way, and how your soul looks are two different things. So when I don't get distracted by your looks, I'm able to tap into your soul and see the trueness of who you truly are, right? And then I'm able to then see your energetic field, right? And I use the Merkaba. I'll explain it. I use the Merkaba. I don't know the technicalities. Don't ask me for the technicalities, how I got here. No, it was ancestrally guided. And I still don't understand how I use half of the technicalities, but I know what I need to do in order to access certain things. So 90% of my spiritual work is done in the astral, not in the physical world. 90% of my spiritual work is done in the astral, not in the spiritual world. And with that, I do a lot of astral travel. And with that, it means that I need the Merkaba to be fully activated for me to be able to travel. Right? So that means I work with people on earth and with people not on earth. I can heal a person that I've not seen in my entire life. I can visit a person's home that I've not even seen, and see things in their homes. I have traveled to my clients' homes to fight Maloi, to fight witches, to fight demons, to protect their homes. And one other thing is that I can access a person's dreams, not in the way that you're thinking, but I can, when a person sends me, the reason why I don't do dream interpretation in the comments or in the inboxes is because when I read a dream, I don't see anything. Reading words, I see nothing. But when a person sends me a dream in a voice note and I hear the voice, automatically I am transformed. I just close my eyes, I listen, and automatically I get into the dream as well. I'm even able to see things that they might have missed or things that they have forgotten about the dream. And I then able to get the dream interpretation. And sometimes I even meet an ancestor who will then say, maybe the ancestor said something and you forgot it when you woke up. When I listen to the dream, the ancestors then can tell me that thing that you forgot. And I'm able to come back with a better interpretation. Right? So that's why I don't do generic dream interpretation. This means that, because it doesn't mean that for you. Right? So this is how I've been able to access. I can travel to different dimensions to access higher knowledge, to get divine instructions. And sometimes I found myself in planetary fights, or where we are protecting certain planets, and I'm there. Sometimes I will be told, someone will come and say, we need to go. There's war. One of my grandfather will come and say, hey, we are at war, we need more people. And I'll have to start the engines. Hence, that's why I always have to be spiritually pure. Start the engines and zoom, we are there in mass fighting. And I have used the Merkaba to travel to what we call the so-called hell, or the spiritual prison, to petition and negotiate for certain souls, or sometimes to break other people out of that place. We've done that. Now, does this make me special? I don't think so. No, it doesn't make me special. Why do I say it doesn't make me special? It is because every human being has the light body in them. And if they put a little bit more effort in their spirituality and their spiritual path, they will then be able to use the Merkaba. They can use it as I'm using it, or even better than what I'm doing with my Merkaba. You will then be able to use it in the most unique way. I know people who use their Merkaba in a way that I'm still in awe at how they use them. The people who actually tend to use it so well is kids. Kids who have not been influenced or their light has not been dimmed. Kids who are allowed to be free. When I deal with families and there's a child who's free in who she is or who he is, they then are able to access, because remember, this is a vehicle. You've always had this vehicle. The reason why many of you, the vehicle is not working is because you've just parked it and it's been sitting there for years. But with the child, it's a vehicle that they came in with and they're still using it, because with their imagination and travel, they see themselves as superheroes and stuff. And so they are able to astral travel so easily. Until an adult comes and tells them that, no, you didn't go there. There's no way. There's no place like that. When they say, I was with unicorns last night, and they're like, no, there's no unicorns. Those don't exist. Then the child starts to lack faith in their own abilities. Then they start to lack faith in their intuition. And then eventually, the portals close. And then eventually, the vehicle no longer operates. So to parents, when your kids come and tell you all these fancy things that they're doing and all these people that they're talking with, they're not crazy. They're just accessing things that you can't. Now, in order for us to understand properly the Merkaba, we need to understand astral projection and lucid dream. We need to understand lucid dreaming and we need to understand astral projection, because those are two different things. To astral project, you need the Merkaba. To lucid dream, you don't need the Merkaba. Right? Now, let's start with lucid dreaming. What is lucid dreaming? It is when you are sleeping, you are asleep and you go into the dream state. And in the dream world, you then are given into a scene. You find yourself in a scene. Right? Things are happening and you are there. But then when you are there, the lucid dream, usually a normal dream, when you are in that scene, you can't control anything. You can't control your body. You can't control your body movements. You can't blink your eyes if you want to blink your eyes. Every single thing is dictated for you. In a lucid dream, you can't control what's happening around you, but you can control how you react to it. You can control, if there's a door, you can control to open it, but you don't create the door. You don't create the door. If there is a thing that wants to attack you, you can protect yourself, but you do not dictate what attacks you. So that's the lucid dream. You do not dictate the scene, but you can dictate how you react in the scene. Right? Sometimes me and my team, we call them astral visions. So meaning you had a vision of somewhere in the astral and you were there and you found yourself there. And now you know you were dreaming. It's always the dreams where you know I'm in a dream. Sometimes you are in a dream within a dream. And then you can wake up in the dream. And then once you wake up from the actual dream. Remember, the dream is dictated on you. You are dreaming in a dream. And you are in this scene, and then you realize, no, this is a dream. And then you wake up. But when you wake up, you are still in a dream. And now you can control yourself and say, now I want to wake up. Or now I want to act this way. That's a lucid dream. I hope I made a little bit of sense, right? Now, in a lucid dream, your soul doesn't leave the body. Right? It doesn't leave the body, but it can still have visions. That's why we call them astral visions. It can still have visions of the different astral activities happening in the astral. Hence, that's why you can wake up and say, I'm in a dream, and be able to wake yourself up. Right? Astral projection. Now, this is different. You do not need to be sleeping to astral project or to astral travel. Some people call them out of body experiences. Now, in training, those with astral travel gifts, when you train, the first steps of training is usually lucid dreams. They will train you in the lucid dream section before you can actually be able to start using the astral travel gift. So lucid dreams will come a lot more often because that's your training. That's how your ancestors train you. That's how they initiate you. This is what they mean when they say self-initiation. They will be initiating you themselves. Initiate you in the astral. Right? So many people are lucid dreaming and thinking they are astral traveling. No, you were not astral traveling. You were lucid dreaming. You were having astral visions. Right? And many people train to astral travel in their sleep. Right? So they train them in the astral vision on how to astral travel. So that when the astral traveling starts, they're already accustomed to the astral energy. Right? Now, in an astral travel, so usually the astral travel, when they start, this is now when you are sleeping. You don't need to be sleeping to astral travel, but for many people, when it starts, you will start when you are sleeping. And this is the classic case where you are sleeping and you see yourself come out of your body. You see yourself come out of the body. You look back, you can see your body there. Right? To many people, then you will be in the room and then go back into the body. Okay. And to sometimes you then see yourself coming out and there's a man or a woman waiting there for you and say, come, let's go. And then you go and you see yourself going somewhere. And then that's where they take you there, they teach you certain things, and then they bring you back home. And then you see yourself, when you're getting back into your room, you see your body sleeping there and then you go back into it. Right? This is how many people with astral travel gifts get initiated by the angels and their ancestors. But as I said, you do not need to be sleeping to astral project. I so I used to sleep a lot, and then I would have to astral project a lot out of, it's as if I didn't know how to activate it without not sleeping. And then one day I had an experience where I don't take any form of drugs, any form of let's not call them drugs, any form of lucid hallucination stuff like your weed. I don't take snuff. I don't do that. I don't take anything that will assist me with having a vision or doing anything. And then one day I had a space cookie. They call them space cookie for a reason. I had a space cookie, and the reason why I don't take these things, and I will never, it is because after I had the space cookie and it was starting to come in, people laugh, people see visions, and people, like, it's, you're just in a happy state. I had the worst experience of my life for a whole 6 hours or more. I think it was 8 hours, where I kept on coming out of my body and coming back, and every single time I come back, I feel it like a bam, right? And I would go out and I'll come back, bam, and I'll go out and I'll come back, and then I would go out and go into the future and see someone who came into the house, who's coming into the house, and that this person will come and have a conversation with me. And then I'll come back, boom. And after a few minutes, that person is back, is now having a conversation with me. And I'm like, no, we've already talked about this. Because I've already had that conversation with you. So now it's tedious. And that was happening the whole night. That was happening the whole night. When a person went, even a person about to call me, I already knew we had that conversation. I knew word to word what they were going to say to me. Right? That went on for 8 hours. At some point, I was so scared because I was like, what if a witch comes? What if Baloi comes? What if it's the night where the demons are here? And here I am busy going in and out of my body. I could not control it, and I was not even asleep. All these things were happening. I was awake. I was like, my eyes were open, and I would see myself go out. I would look at myself go out, go talk to someone, and then I'll come back and I'll be like, and then the person will come in, and I will even say that so and so is about to knock, and everyone will think I'm just high, and the person knocks, and I'll say the person is about to say this, and the person says it. That's the time I ever said to myself, I will never even have mushrooms. I will never. Because I do not want to not be in control of my body. Right? So that was my introduction to astral projection when you are not asleep. I don't know if the ancestors did it deliberately, because right now it happens naturally. Because of that experience, now it happens naturally. Now I'm always worried. They're starting with these constructions of theirs. Now I'm always worried because now I'm having conversation with people all the time. Like I was in a consultation with one of my clients, and he said sometimes like, yeah, we talked about it, and he's like, I have never had that conversation with you. And I'm like, no, you told me. And he's like, no, but I go through that a lot. I have conversations with people, and we finish our conversation, and me, I'm done. We're done. Only to realize I never did actually have the physical, in the physical realm, I never had that conversation with that person. But in the astral, me and that person did discuss the things we talked about. And that person now, because they need to catch up with my reality, they're now coming to discuss it. And I've already had that conversation with them. Okay, I need to finish up because they're about to start up there. Upstairs, they're having construction. I think renovations, and they're going to make so much noise. Right. Eventually, as you activate the Merkaba, As I said, you do not need to sleep in order to astral travel. You can do it by just closing your eyes and bang, you're out. And the higher the velocity, the higher the speed of the car, the fast speed of the car, or the sports car, or whatever, the higher the velocity and the speed of the Merkaba, the quicker you can go in and out. Right? You can go into someone's house within a second, see what you need to see, take what you need to take, and come back. I had an experience where this man, because men love witchcraft, was doing a love spell on me. He didn't even know me. He just knew my name, and he met me a couple of times. And he went and did this whole jar with my name. And I then was like, now I was starting to think about him a lot. And I was like, there's no way. There's no way I'm thinking about this guy. Something is up. What is the issue? And I was shown in a vision what the issue was, this jar. I went to his house and I kicked the jar. Poop! That's why some of you in your houses, things are just falling and you don't know why they're falling. That's why I told you that if you guys are not behaving here, I'm going to come and slap you. Some of you are just lazy. I'll come and slap you in your sleep. And I slapped that jar and it fell. Now I told him never to play with me. When I saw him, I then told him what I did, and I said, don't play with me. Okay. Right? You can go into a second and come back. Right? Now, don't confuse this with having a vision. You can be sitting on the couch and have a vision, but you're not astral projecting. So don't confuse this with a vision. Astral projection, you will see yourself leave the body and you will see yourself go out the door and then travel. A vision is an image, is a Pictionary, like a movie. You're just watching something, you're just watching a scene, right? To those whose visions come like that, you're just watching a scene. You can't control the scene, you can't dictate what's happening, you can't dictate what's been shown to you. Whereas in astral projection, you can control the scene, you can dictate what's happening to you. And you can decide what door you go through, what directions you take, and how you move. A vision, you can't do that. So today I taught you about the visions, I taught you about lucid dreams, the difference between a dream and a lucid dream, astral projection and lucid dreams, for you to be able to understand. Right? Even a vision, you can't control how long it lasts, but astral projection, you can control. But in astral projection, you can do so much in a second because you're moving at the speed of light, depending on the velocity and how high frequently you are vibrating. In a second, I can move and go to 5 houses and come back, and I'm done. Right? In a vision, you don't see yourself leave the body, and you cannot even control the images that you're seeing. Now, for many interdimensional soul, interplanetary and souls, interdimensional beings, this is the vehicle you came on earth with. And for many of you, you have left this vehicle for many lifetimes and it has started to rust. Just like how if you leave a car for years, it rots. It just doesn't function. And so, right, without using it, so many interdimensional beings, many interplanetary and souls, the God souls, many of you have left your car to just rot. Right? And now the car is damaged because you've left it and it was not being used. So it will require a lot from you to get the body to activate and to work properly. This can take years of repairing and fixing. And the Kundalini awakening acts like the transformer of your vehicle. Now we get into transformers. Now your vehicle changes. It becomes a transformer after the Kundalini awakening. And if the Kundalini awakening is done properly, because there are people who do it and we call them premature Kundalini awakening. It's not done properly. But if it's done properly, then you get a total 100.0 vehicle that can travel at 1,000. What is the speed limit? What is the speed of most cars? Is it 200, 400, 500? Now your body can travel in a second at thousands, 2,000, 3,000 speed. Just imagine how fast that is. Even like a rocket, boom, and you're in and out. Right. Many people know so much about the Merkaba. You will see them in the comments. They know so much about the Merkaba, but many of them have never experienced it. They lucid dream and they think they are having a Merkaba experience. Many of them can't even access the Merkaba, can't even now as they are here, can't even leave their body, but they will write long messages, they'll make long videos about the Merkaba. The same way how many people know a lot about the Kundalini, and yet they have not even had a Kundalini awakening. They've had some activity, they've had spiritual awakening. A spiritual awakening is not a Kundalini awakening. And a person goes through multiple spiritual awakenings on earth. Right. Now, I'm going to talk to the people who this page was created for. I'm going to talk to the interdimensional beings. I'm going to talk to the interplanetary beings. And I'm going to talk to the intergalaxy souls. As I said, many of you, this is the body that you came on earth with. This is the vehicle you used. This was your spaceship that you used to come on earth with. And for you to go back home, you have to activate the Merkaba. You have to activate it fully, just like how Elijah activated the Merkaba. For you guys, in order for you to go back home, there is no death. Just like how Elijah Moses left without dying, it has to be the same. It's going to be the same for you. There's no death but ascension for you to go home and become a god. Just like how Jesus had to take back the body before it rotted and turn it and transformed it. Right? There was no man on the cross. No one died on the cross for your sins. Jesus did not die, but Jesus did die. Jesus did not even die. Jesus transformed his body and ascended. The ascension, yes, happened. They saw him leave with his body, but there was no death. Now, because they couldn't explain that whole story, they created a man, a mystical man on the cross to make the story and say he died for your sin. He did not die for anyone. He transcended into godhood with his own body. He was not here working for anyone. He was here working for himself. The ascension to godhood, to the people who this page was made for. You all know yourself. The ascension to godhood happens in the physical body. You don't die, you don't leave the body on earth and ascend into godhood. There will be no death but ascension. Right? Get that. You need to get that. You guys need to get that. Because you're wasting time here. You need to understand. You need to work and fix your bodies. You need to work and fix the Kundalini. It needs to awaken. You need to open all the portals, lotus petals. You need to have your energy. You need to have the Merkaba activated. You need to start using it so that you can get insight on how we live. Some of you, the reason why we are stuck here and not going home is because you all are dragging your feet. So you need to start taking care of the physical body, the emotional body, the energetic body, the soul body, the spiritual body. I think I forgot one body. And all of the bodies, you need to start taking care of them. You need to start being healthy, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally. You need to be healthy. There needs to be a balance. If there's no balance, there's no ascension. There needs to be a balance. Even a rocket ship, in order for it to launch upwards, it needs bearing, it needs balance. And that's the same with you. Every single thing needs to be balanced and operating properly for you to be able to ascend. The third eye, your pineal gland, needs to be working, functioning. It needs to be clarified. You know, your nervous systems, they need to be regulated. The third eye needs to be open. The crown chakra needs to be activated for you to get higher knowledge on how you navigate the dimensions and go home. Right? You cannot just rely on this physical, on the spiritual body, which many of you are doing. Many of you, what you are doing is that you are trying to fix the spiritual body, working endlessly on the spiritual, but you're forgetting the mental, the emotional. You're forgetting all the other bodies, that they are important to also work on. Even the physical body is needed, because this is the body you will take up. There's no getting another body. So that's why you need to, the first step is self-love. That's why you need to love that body and accept it. Accept it and stop trying to change it, because that's the, if you change it, then it can't go anywhere. Because the only way for you to change it is to energetically change it. If you change it, then it's not going to go anywhere. Now you've damaged certain important parts about your body. You put a big body in that body. Now that it's heavy, the car can't move. When you didn't have a big booty. Right? So don't emblem the body. Leave the body as it is. Right? And allow it to transform itself. But you need to love it. The first step to awakening and igniting the Merkaba is self-love, self-acceptance of the body. This physical vehicle is body. It is the vehicle that will take you to the higher dimension. But just like any car, if you don't love it, you will never respect it or ride it properly or use it properly. And then to the rest, also to everyone else, just love your body, take good care of yourself, and work hard. And the more you work on your journey, to the self-initiate, allow your ancestors to take you through this journey and initiate you. And with time, one day, you'll be sitting on the couch and see yourself living without mushrooms, without what they call them, hallucination medicine, without anything. You'll see yourself leave your body and astral project. And then with time, one day, you will astral project with this body and go somewhere and then come back. That's the Merkaba. That's the lesson on the Merkaba. I hope it was simple enough for everyone to understand it at different levels. For those of you who like deep, complicated things, I'm sorry. I don't do that. Right? But for everyone else, I hope it was simple enough and I explained it in a way that now you have an understanding of what the Merkaba is. And with that, you can then go in and do your own research and learn more. Okay. All right, I need to go have consultation, and I think they will start now with this noise of the construction. And I have consultations that I need to go do because I've been gallivanting. I've been gallivanting and having so much fun. Now I need to work. I need to attend to my clients. And then I was told that I needed to post more about my travels. For many people who are in their waiting period in their meantime waiting period, the transition phase where they're about to quantum leap, this is to motivate you, to help you understand that you can actually quantum leap. Quantum leap is real, and you can live a completely different life, right? I hope some of you, I hope you don't think I'm flaunting. I'm not flaunting. I've always traveled. I've always been a traveler. I've always been someone who's been traveling. I went from traveling, always being outside of South Africa for 6 months, 8 months, to then being asked by my ancestors to give them 3 to 4 years for spiritual work. And I did that. So now I'm back better. I'm back and even better to my original self. where we now traveling. We're back to traveling again. So it's not because I'm traveling because of spirituality. No, I've always done that. That's always been my life. I just took a break to focus on the spirituality. And this is to some of you, even if you are asked, some of you have been asked to let go of certain things. It's not going to be forever. They will restore them. And when they restore them better. They restore them better. All right, my loves, let me go. I hope you guys have a good day and are enjoying yourself and you're keeping good. Bye. I love you guys.